Hello, my name is Olivia Liu, presenting from Cleveland, Ohio, and my Polygence project focuses on the integration of the arts and technology to support a holistic approach to conservation of the Amazon rainforest. My mentor for this project is Matthew Bidgelecht. My deep passion for the arts, as well as my widening interest in technology, prompted me to discover ways they can overlap. My research project not only helped me find potential avenues for an application of the arts, but also enlightened me about topics such as transdisciplinarity, holism, and regenerative conservation. Before we begin breaking down my project, I'll define a few key terms. Let's start with the concepts of reductionism versus holism. Reductionism is a theory in which to understand a concept, one must reduce it to smaller levels. Reductionism is often associated with scientific methods and quantitative data. On the other hand, holism studies all the components of a concept and relies on qualitative data as well as quantitative data. Qualitative data is usually associated with the arts as it includes visual, tactile, and auditory information. Another important term to remember is transdisciplinarity, which refers to practices that integrate different disciplines to draw a variety of information from stakeholders. Finally, conservation is defined in this project as a practice aimed at preserving and encouraging biodiversity and a movement towards a regenerative way of living. Now that we have our key terms defined, let's look deeper. Why specifically the Amazon rainforest? It is because the Amazon rainforest has been named the most biologically diverse place on Earth, being home to nearly 10% of all wildlife known. In addition, the Amazon is critically endangered because of the intensive man made projects ongoing in its areas, including agricultural practices, logging, and mining. Therefore, the Amazon offers a massive outlet for conservation projects. So, what's the overall issue that we are tackling today? The Amazon's dire status has led to many scientists to tackle the practice of conservation through technocentric approaches, which are naturally reductionist. A few examples of these ongoing tech centered approaches include conservation hubs, analytical systems, and satellite imagery. However, several of these reductionist methods have failed to present a complete approach to conservation. They focus too much on the needs of humans, calculating data based solely on numbers, and don't adhere to the unpredictability of nature. Instead, we must view nature as a living system. Coined by Dr. Anna Burney, the theory of living systems calls for dynamic interaction, communication, and collaboration between all levels of the environment, including humans, animals, plants, and abiotic factors. In order to encourage the interactions in a healthy living system, input from each level must be taken into account in order to develop a practice that is truly multi species friendly. Here, we turn to holistic approaches. Holism takes quantitative data from technology and qualitative data from art-based practices and integrates both. So, what are a few examples of art-based practices that we can apply to conservation of the Amazon? Here, I'll present three categories of art-based approaches: design-based practices, art-based practices, and embodied practices, which all yield qualitative data to support the theory of living systems. First are design-based approaches. Biomimicry is a type of design that incorporates patterns found in nature to man-made products, encouraging sustainable and immersive designs. Morphological maps organize data and display the functionality of a product, but they also can explore how to alter that product to achieve the same functionality. Finally, architecture, as a crossroads of engineering and design, can be utilized to develop environmentally friendly buildings using green roofs, vertical farms, and biodegradable materials. Visual art-based approaches can offer a variety of qualitative data to buttress transdisciplinary conservation efforts. Conceptual art, for example, uses illustration to depict non-existent regenerative environments. Shown here as part of an installation by Refik Ando called Large Nature Model, which is simulate a living ecosystem combining artistic graphics and scientific observations. Next is the practice of co-crafting, which allows for both man and nature to have an equal voice in creating art or products. The work of sculptor Martin Kuhn is a great example of co-crafting, as he allows for the stones in his sculptures to dictate the final piece of art. Finally, biomedical illustration is an outstanding example of the intersections between science and art. Using detailed scientific data, biomedical illustration is able to accurately display the information visually. Finally, we have embodied practices, which are practices that invigorate the human senses to strengthen our connections with nature. A few embodied practices featured in my project include deep listening and forest bathing. Deep listening refers to a heavy emphasis on auditory information in order to deepen the understanding of non human species and nature, similar to meditation. Forest bathing, originating from the Shinto religion, is a form of walking meditation that focuses on the emotions produced by a complete immersion into nature. So, how could these art based practices integrate with current technologies in order to produce transdisciplinary approaches? A few syntheses may be AI tools and conceptual art, in which AI can provide images for conceptual art for a regenerative future. Modern tools were made to be sustainable via crafting, which can be displayed through morphological maps. Satellite imagery and chemical observations to be depicted in biomedical illustrations of the Amazon, GPS mapping, which can create paths for forest bathing activities for tourists, or civic engineering and architectural design for sustainable buildings like hotels, conservation hubs, and offices. There are an infinite possibilities for the synthesis of the arts and science. By pushing the boundaries of each discipline, we can gain access to a variety of information, both quantitative and qualitative, that can help us deepen our partnership with nature, moving towards a regenerative solution. Thank you so much for watching.